Jack, Sam.
Yo.
Hello.
This has been it was a very good stage 2, I'd say.
Was it one of the stage 2s of all time?
Well, actually,
Yeah,
stage 3.
especially when it
we
was
can
stage
count.
3.
Yeah, we can
Stage
count.
It's really good.
Counting really good. I thought this was a very exciting stage 3. I was very happy with how it went through. Let's just start on it right away. We want to start in the O3s and work our way up? Because we'll talk about the teams that made it through in conjunction with playoffs. So I think let's start at the bottom and work our way up.
Yeah. Let's start at the bottom.
Let's start with Amiga. 0-3 team.
Yeah.
Start with Amigos. Sorry.
And Amiga.
Namiga?
Amiga. You know what? Just deal.
I think we should call them Amigos. I like that.
Amigos. Let's start with the
let's
Amigos.
start with the Amigos. Down here at the bottom. Played
There's three of
Navi.
them.
Lost to Navi. Played Vitality. Lost to Vitality. Played Pain. Lost to Pain.
Do you know what?
Yeah, they lost to everybody. They went 3-0.
I was harsh on these fuckers coming into the major. They were a lot of fun, weren't they?
They
They
were.
were just a good time. Like they'd maybe I had some residual hatred towards them for getting baited into trusting them in the last major cycle. But do you know what? I quite like them. Zwei, however you say his name, it should be Zwei. But I hear it as Zwei all the time, and I'm not sure I like that. It's like hearing someone say Jaber, which was confirmed
that's
to be
wrong.
wrong.
That's
It was
just wrong.
confirmed to be wrong by the man himself. Which
Don't
was
care
great.
if it's confirmed to be wrong or not. It's still
always
wrong.
always obviously wrong. Whoever I think it was Launders was saying that. Launders, you're smart bloke, mate. You're also an idiot. Yeah, they were just quite good. Like it was a real shame that they went 0-3, but like I feel like one of Lynn Vision Legacy or Namiga was always destined to go 0-3 in this stage, and it just so happened to be Namiga.
I mean, jump back to this. Just the people that they faced were.
Oh yeah, really rough.
Like, this is one of the roughest runs you could have had to make it here. To get to 0-3, right? Losing to Navi, losing to Vitality, losing to Pain. Those are 3 teams, spoiler alert, who made playoffs. That's just disgustingly difficult to get through.
Yeah.
Like
Credit where credit's due. Yeah.
I mean,
They
look
did
at
not
their
have a nice draw.
look at their run compared to the other 0-3 team.
Yeah, which I think we should spend a little bit more time on, because I'm...
I jumped for joy.
Team
I'm
Liquid.
so happy.
Team
is
Liquid,
0-3.
the other 0-3 team, lost 13-5 to Lynn Vision, 13-7 to the MongolZ, and lost in a 2-1 to MOUZ.
Which is embarrassing for MOUZ, actually, losing them up to Liquid.
So,
just putting that out there.
So there's 2 bits here. One, I know Lynn Vision have been incredibly good up until this point in the tournament. I know the MongolZ are a favorite in the playoffs to make it somewhere in the playoffs. But if you're Team Liquid, Jesus fucking Christ, guys.
I just like
They were exhausted from boot camp, guys.
I'm just so genuinely fucking baffled by this team, because like I actually struggle to put it into words, right? Because if you go back a couple months on this podcast, you get to me and Elliot talking about this team, and this team on paper is so good. But NAF this year is genuinely just completely awful. Like, Smiths would be better on this team.
Are they so good on paper?
Yes, of course they are.
Yeah, they are.
Is Ultimate really that guy?
He was during Mirage. Don't fucking tell me that he wasn't during the very last game.
Mirage is also the map where he famously had Sponge scream at him, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. But like, let's look at the team then, Jack, for the sake of it. Everything Shui's done in the last couple of years.
Yeah, valid.
Won't detract from that. Right, okay. Twistzz and NAF, historically, look at NAF's rating from last year. Look at what Twistzz has been doing
Not winning.
in these roles. Fine, but like he's playing like a good player.
Yeah, he's objectively good, yeah, like that's fine.
Look at what Nertz has done in the last 2 years. And
he's gotten a lot worse on Liquid.
he has. I've got theories. I'll get into those.
We all have theories, man. It just doesn't mean to tell us, but sure. If it's related to
I
nerds,
imagine. Yeah, it's related to
okay.
nerds.
Insult
There's other theories. We won't go into those. They're also related, but we won't go into those. Ultimate.
He's not the villain of that team.
I don't think Ultimate is very good. I've said that for a while. But Ultimate also isn't bad. Ultimate's in this like really strange vein of Orpa where like when he hits his ceiling like he did on that Mirage game, they should never lose that game.
No.
Look how many fucking kills he's got. Like
Bro also had like, I don't know, I can't count, 40 rounds to play.
He was at 38 before overtimes, I think. Or he was in the mid-30s before overtime. That's
still an insane level to be at. Like, just because there was more rounds, like, keeping the fucking kills per round going that long is.
But if he's that good, surely they win it without it.
They
going to double OT.
Should have
losing.
They should have.
They should have.
But that's. Oh, I almost said a word then. It's just stupid, Jack. You're smarter than this.
No, I know.
You can attempt to be the heel, but come on.
Yeah.
Like, don't make yourself look stupid.
Yeah, like again,
Spinks was having a game of all time as well. At the same time on the other side, but
don't like him. Don't really like MOUZ as a team, but we can get to that later. I don't know. That's not actually true. I actually don't mind MOUZ, but just forget about them. They're just forgettable, unfortunately.
Like, look, everyone else on Liquid just played fucking bad, and like, it's just the team overall just doesn't work.
Like, NAVI is obviously just cheeks this year, and that's sad. But like, he's just shit.
So like, going back to when I interviewed him.
Yeah.
Before the event, you know, he's talking about how.
Did he talk for like maybe 15 minutes for every question?
No, he spoke less than he normally does.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad.
But like, he was despondent pretty much even then, just talking about how he can't find his space on the team because everyone wants their space, including Shuey, which we can talk about whether that's a good or bad thing some other time. And it's also something that's clearly impacting nerds. And then elsewhere in the interview, you know, we talk about the season overall, and quite unprompted, actually. He just says, like, yeah, we need to do well at the major, otherwise Liquid are going to, you know, make decisions about whether they want to continue with the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to redeem myself there. And then he gets there, and like, obviously I'm not in Austin, but I hear it from very reliable sources in Austin. NAF was not a member of this team during this event. He was not a part of team huddles. When games would end, he would pack up his stuff, he would leave on his own. Like, they weren't spending time together, which, like, you get
that's
that
just
with...
fucked up.
You get that with some teams, but, like,
you're not going to win.
That.
Like, give yourself a chance. Like, if this is your last chance, and I'm sure, like, I'm not saying it's his fault or the team's fault. There's obviously a fucking rift there, right? But fuck me, man. Like, put on the act. Like, at least act professional. Act like a team. That's half the battle.
I really do think they made the decision to cut him during their boot camp.
Is that why they were all exhausted? Which is just also fucking bullshit. I'm not going to shit on Twistzz too much, but that interview's fucking pathetic.
I'm going to shit on Twistzz. I think Twistzz is a problem.
I do. I've been saying this since he went back to Liquid. The IGL thing was a laughing stock. Things happened before he started IGLing, which, again, we've alluded to in the past, but obviously egos and attitudes caused off-server collisions, should we say. And he just seems like an arsehole.
I think it's unavoidable that Twistzz has some kind of an ego issue that is affecting the team, because it's now two lineups that really should work.
Yeah.
Because, like, this isn't the first time that NAF has had to give up space on a team, by the way, and it worked before. he did it like on the team with Yakindar and Elige and whoever else was on the fucking team that I can't remember or be asked to go through. He did give up space then, and he was still unreal.
Yeah, nap on NRG.
And I just, oh god, it's horrible, Jack. Why would you make him suffer?
And they're like the Canadian team or something. They're like mostly Canadian, right?
Yes,
no, they have hexed. Ignore me.
They're also just fucking rubbish.
Well,
I mean, so
fit right in there, wouldn't they?
I mean, like,
but anyway, like I just think. Twistzz,
yeah, no, sure.
I just think Twistzz definitely has some kind of an ego problem. He was
it's
never
just
a star. He's never been a star. But he, you know, like one of his
he wants star treatment, right?
One of his,
the space of a Nico.
One of his supposed issues with Liquid the first time was that he was a glorified support player, and then that's all he was on FaZe, and he leaves that so he can go be a star elsewhere. And it's like, mate, you're nothing but glue.
The
and
problem
you were
is
winning on FaZe.
Now you need to go to the glue factory, you cunt.
Segue.
That's good, that.
So Elliot and I, we made a list of like the Magisk-esque players, right? Because Magisk is this very interesting player who plays support but can kind of do whatever and acts as that glue player.
I think that's offensive to Magisk to compare Twistzz to him.
We made this list 2 years ago. We made this list 2 years ago. Okay?
All right. I will allow.
With this list, actually, I can tell you exactly when this list was made. It was when Magisk left for Falcons and Vitality brought Mezzi in.
What move, by the way? Because
we talked about it in context of that move. And the only 3 people in the world that we said could possibly do it was Magisk, Twistzz, and Mezzi. List down to 2.
Hunter. At the time, Hunter as well.
At the time, maybe...
Probably still Hunter.
Taco in 2016, also.
Yeah, but that wasn't helping us right then in 2023.
No.
But they have been the 4 for a few years that were in the similar spot as Hunter, Twistzz.
I think Hunter was playing like shit at that point, so we didn't even bother.
Yeah, sure. No, I get it.
But the point is that list is very small, and it's becoming smaller. And can we really put Magisk on the list anymore either? That's a separate conversation for another time, but...
Not looking at this scoreboard, but I do think Jimfat's kind of in that realm as well, right? I think he's probably a little bit overrated by the populace in general, but I think that sort of glue player who can pop off is kind of pretty appropriate for him.
Do you know what Jimfat is? It's just upmarket Snow. He's not actually that good. Like, everyone likes Snow, and everyone thinks
he's just 12.
Yeah, everyone likes Snow, and everyone thinks he's like really. He's not actually that good.
Snow. I remember when he like first was mentioned, and this is probably like when.
I had some. Like,
I'd say like 4 years ago. No, like like when he was like, I think he was on Case Esports as like a signed prospect player, like centuries ago. This like probably like 3 or 4 years ago now. And again, he was picked to be this amazing prospect, like and he just isn't, right. Like, not every kid who's really good at 13 is actually a one-league child. Like, they might just be really good at 13.
Well, Counter-Strike doesn't have linear growth, to use the Harry talking point. But like, I don't know, with Jimfat, man, like, I've just like never got it. I'm not saying he's like not clearly good at everything he does, because he is, but this idea that he was like fucking straight up the best in the world at it, I was always just like,
he's got this, like he's the fucking
really
Superman.
Not really sure.
Right.
I don't really think he stands out in the way that like Zip and Perfecto did.
Let's hold this conversation. We'll have plenty more to talk about with MOUZ as we get towards playoffs.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's stick on the 1 and 2 teams for now. A team in which Sam was convinced we're going 0-3. Aurora.
I still think they would have gone 0-3 if FaZe didn't pick Anubis against them. It's literally the only map that I actually don't think they're dog shit on.
Yeah, that veto, I don't understand it at all. At all.
I know. By the way, that FaZe later played the MongolZ on Anubis and shat on them, and the MongolZ frequently shit on Aurora.
Sure, no,
Anubis.
Yeah.
But like,
I just think that
it's the only map they're good at.
It's a beer. What exactly, right? They are a one trick.
They're crap at other maps.
FaZe are good enough to pug another map and beat them. It really strange veto, and I think FaZe would have had a better run.
I really think if they played any other map, Aurora go 0-3.
And FaZe go 3-0 probably.
I thought Aurora looked crap. I mean, look at it. Other than that, like, yeah, they beat FaZe 13-5, but 13-7 to FURIA, who I actually think are really good.
Yeah, vouch.
13-4 to G2.
Yeah.
A dead G2 team with a stand-in? Really?
Yeah, the G2 wasn't good.
Also, just like
losing to MOUZ is fine.
I think Aurora have just like had this like kind of streak of slight overperformance. Like they've just been better than they really should have been for a while, but still not really that good. And that's just gotten this weird belief that they're like they're just gonna win something.
It's very simple. It's if you go look at rankings right now, which
simple
is simple
place for FaZe, mate, not Aurora. Sorry.
Bad.
Don't worry.
The problem is, of you. I'm sick of this.
The teams above Aurora on this, I can realistically make a reasoning why they're above Aurora.
Right.
But the problem is between like 6 and like 18. You could have told me B8 was actually probably not B8. You could have told me Heroic was 6th best team in the world, and I wouldn't have like really thought about it.
I think with Aurora, it does just.
Are you looking at VRS rate ranking though?
That is HTTP, but my point still stands.
Okay, they're also 6. That's it.
My point still stands either way. It's like you can tell me, G2's the 6th best
team.
It's like everything in there is kind of mismatched and it doesn't really matter. So they're 6 based on vibes and the fact that they have made playoffs, but it's not because they themselves are 6th. It's because everyone else is a little inconsistent in the general area.
I really do think it just comes down to. Was it last week I said it? Like, people will like to say that, you know, Vitality were beneficiaries of Falcon still needing to make a change, and MOUZ making a change and still not quite being wherever they are in their development, Spirit being a little worse than they should be. No, Aurora are the fucking biggest beneficiaries of other teams not being very good. If FaZe hit the ground running with a lead, if Brokey hadn't decided to just shit the bed...
He amputated.
Like, if NAVI remembered how to play the game earlier than June...
there's been
Aurora
a vortex of talent.
Team. Like, if Liquid had worked, Liquid probably would be a better team. Like, there is... If Astralis had Hooksy all along, would Astralis be... Maybe. Like, there's a whole number of teams. If VP played like this all the time...
yeah.
Pain had made these changes earlier. FURIA had made these changes earlier. There's a whole number of teams where actually I could see Aurora just being anywhere between 15th and 7th. And I think that's good for Counter-Strike. I think it says a lot about how other teams have gotten stronger.
I think I think they're quite a good fun team as well.
But I just don't think Aurora were actually as good as their results suggested.
I agree.
They are. I don't think they ever were. And I think like it's going to be a slow realization of that, and I think it always also goes like hand in hand with like, you know, everyone was just calling them playoff bottlers and shit like that for a while. It's like no, they shouldn't even be here. Like, they're losing to reasonable teams every time. They're losing to people better than them, and actually they're just fortunate to be here. Like, let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about every team that makes the playoffs like they should just win an event because they're in the playoffs. Like, that's really fucking stupid.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit with the major playoffs, but that is very untrue.
Yeah.
All right. Next team, 3D Max. A win against the G2, a dominant win against G2, and then losses down the road.
I think I like the team generally, and I think they should have done better than they did.
They're French.
They are French, but if I look past that, they play some fundamentally pretty solid Counter-Strike. I think Gravity's probably got to go. Like, I'm sure he's funny and stuff. He's not made objectively the worst player on that team.
Oh, he's just like not made the adjustment to tier 1. Like, ever since 3D Max made it to the point where they are like
consistently
this consistent team at tier 1 and took the old big spot of like gatekeeping the fucking jump up. Yeah. He's just crap. He's just crap. And
he's funny when he shouts at flames, but like that's part of it.
It's sad because he's 19. Something like that.
Yeah, he's young. I think there's still a chance for a resurgence for him, honestly.
Well, he's like heralded as, one of France's
21.
Next... Okay, he's 21. But him and Netiu? The guy from Ents?
Yeah. Need to. Yeah.
Yeah. Like those two are heralded as like France's two big future stars, and like you might have it. I'm going to presume that's how you say his fucking name. I don't know. Gravity doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. He's not going to be anything, unfortunately. And if 3D Max want to progress from the point they're at now,
you get though.
He's got to go.
Get you? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, he's kind of your only option. The French scene is shit.
It is, yeah. It's nice to have like some national teams in the space, right? But obviously, like that's still obviously not really meta right now. It's good. It's good for the scene, but
it's why I just have absolutely fucking zero interest in 3D Max. Like, I find Big more interesting now they're bad than when they were at this point, because 3D Max I just know what I'm going to get every time. I just find them phenomenally boring. I like Macca. I think Macca's fun. Other than that, nah.
Can't be asked.
Nah, I don't watch 3D Max games. Put it that way. Like I'm not fucked.
All right, let's move to a team that we do watch games of, or at least I do. The sad part of Lynn Vision going out 1-3.
yeah.
So I will. Can I?
Sorry, Logan. A moment of silence, please.
Out.
Why the fuck are you talking? It's a moment of silence. Shut the fuck up. No, shut the fuck. Silence now. Okay, yeah, we're done.
Okay.
We're done.
So let's start with. This is a non-Lynn Vision point. This is a very much legacy point. Let's start with the fact that Dumao is having the fucking tournament of his goddamn life.
He's just quite good, isn't he?
No. He's been good this tournament.
He's
been not very good before
this
that.
tournament.
No, Dumao is a decent player that plays.
Dumao is a decent player, and he's been
decent
good,
player,
but he's not this. And I don't know. My assumption is you guys were actively watching this match because it was the only thing on at the time.
He plays on the fifth best team in Brazil. Like, how good can he?
Yeah.
be?
So if he was good, he'd be on a different team, wouldn't he?
Well,
really.
Theoretically,
please,
He's been on good rosters, and he's been kicked from them.
What good roster has Dumao been? This is the best team.
I was going to say, are you talking about the 0-0 Nation roster with Taco and
Yeah,
Kozer?
what team?
No, that was not a good
squad?
roster.
No. But we all know the reason why Brazilian players aren't on better teams. We know why Insani isn't on... Dumao aren't on FURIA. It's because they're all on fucking... $2
trillion buyouts.
Trillion real buyout. Real's Brazil, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like 20 pence though, I'm pretty sure.
So dollar.
Their economy's not that bad.
2 million currency unit buyouts,
shit.
okay? Okay, just currency units. Let's just be...
Sorry, bro is on a team called Fake Natty. That's awesome. Anyway.
Okay, so yes, Lynn Vision lost this game. The most lopsided 2-1 I've ever seen in my life, by the way.
What a strange game.
What a strange series, man.
This is BO1s, you know?
Lynn Vision's in playoffs.
As the major goes, yeah.
I mean, look, right, like, we
Shit
all had a
happens.
lot of fun with Lynn Vision. They did some fun shit. They beat Liquid, they beat Falcons. They obviously were never that good.
No, but...
No, but it's always nice to have a storyline team.
Certainly
You know?
fun,
They
but
also-
they were never that good.
They also felt like they were always better than the sum of their parts. Like, we've talked about this before.
I mean,
with
fucking
in terms of
clearly.
other teams. They were definitely, like, you would not go, oh, I'm going to pick this player or this. But this team just was good because they were playing well together.
Zaka's a fucking baller. He hits some nice shots. He's fun to watch. I
think
Zaka.
most people on this
one
team are
thing
fun
I've
to
learned.
watch.
Ooh, I don't know how fun Call Me Sue is to watch. That's a rough experience. If it's fun in, like, the Borup sense, sure.
It's fun, and I'll say it's probably not fun for everyone. It's fun for me, particularly because, like, I've watched Call Me Sue through the NA bit of it all, and so you see the continuation thing. That's a me. It's a me specific thing.
You're good, mate. You're good,
Me
mate.
specific thing. Okay. Okay. The rest of you can fucking say you hate watching Call Me Sue. That's fine. I get it.
I'm not
a hater. Listen, the run they had was great. I'm happy about it. All the good things come to an end.
Yeah.
And I think this is only a reasonable outcome.
Yep.
I mean,
Dumoulin,
It would have been
just incredible,
if they made playoffs. By the way, if they made playoffs, this would have been another one for Harry to put in the Mickey Mouse Major list.
I mean, look, I did sour on them slightly when I saw the cross-dressing stuff. I won't lie. That made me feel deeply uncomfortable.
You don't have to lie. I know how it made you feel things, but uncomfortable was not what I heard.
Jack,
All
you're
right,
the one with those leanings. You're not me, mate.
let's move on. 2-2 matches.
Move on.
3 teams were eliminated here on the last day of Stage 3 who did not make the playoffs. Those teams were Virtus Pro. I guess I'll do all of them now. Legacy.
Yeah, I thought you were doing all of them. I'm sorry,
I
Logan.
was just going to do one of Virtus Pro, Legacy, and G2. So we'll start with Virtus Pro.
Can we start with Legacy?
I care
instead?
about one of these teams.
Yeah.
Let's start with Legacy.
So I've got a point on Legacy that also is to do with Lynn Vision and also Namiga. These 3 teams are the teams that, like, these were the major Magic teams. You can talk about Pain as well as potentially being a major Magic team when we get to them. But I actually think this lineup's going to be pretty legit. NQZ might be overperforming, but I've always thought NQZ maybe has that extra level to him.
He's always
but
sat on it, and it's never really come.
These are like the major Magic teams, and in some way, I think they also, all 3 of them, maybe not so much Namiga, but Lynn Vision and Legacy definitely highlight some of the issues with the format. Would Lynn Vision have got their big wins in BO3? I don't know. No. Would Legacy have took down Vitality in a BO3? Probably not, because I mean that game against Vitality was horse shit. Like I don't like backing up Elliot, but every problem Elliot has was
exacerbated
with Inferno was exacerbated in that. That was a rough watch because you weren't watching a game of Counter-Strike. You were watching a game of pure fortune.
But streak's over. Like I know that's how I don't. That's how
No,
I don't really care about that.
I don't give a fuck. The streak's not over until they lose a BO3 or a BO5. I don't care. I'm sorry. Like Thorin was right in that sense. Like one BO1. When they've done what they've done against all the teams they have, like fucking horseshit. They shouldn't have been playing a BO1 anyway.
I agree. But asterisks, right?
Also,
Legacy, you know, they still were not meant to be at this major, if you recall.
Yeah.
A month ago,
and you know what?
They weren't coming. So
a team that wasn't supposed to be at the major, mad props to get into 2-2 in Stage 3.
Well, so this is the other thing I also wanted to say, past the major Magic point, is if you enjoyed watching these teams, don't expect them to do this again. Lynn Vision were only good on 2 maps. They vibed their way through. Legacy are historically not that good. They might win a map or maybe even a series when they turn up at a random IEM. They don't do much more than that. And Namiga, there's a reason you didn't have a fucking clue who they are, because they never even got invites. Do I think Namiga are the best of the 3? Probably. I think they play some pretty good Counter-Strike. They got some decent players.
They also seem to be a bit of a feeder team in a way, though.
They feel like they should become a feeder team. Yeah.
They're like Belarusian Endpoint.
Yeah.
in a way.
And I think Namiga.
Incredible.
I think these 5 players on Namiga could probably peak a little lower than 3D Max.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Lynn Vision and Legacy, that peak is a lot lower. It's a lot lower.
I think you're probably right, but
Tyler is the more legit Chinese team.
That's the thing. I've always wondered there's like 4 teams in China. China has the Brazil problem to a smaller degree, that there is like one set of talent and they keep recycling it and moving it all around. I've always kind of wondered.
I'm not sure that's the Brazil problem, though.
No, it's not the Brazil problem. I said it and it sounded good in my head, and then it didn't.
There are many Brazil problems, but that isn't one of them.
Sorry, it's the NA problem. It's the NA problem, okay?
The Brazil problem is that everyone else will never understand.
So
no, of course. We'll never understand, so.
The NA problem.
Also the fans.
NA keeps recycling the same talent. China keeps doing the same thing to a degree. I wonder if at one point that they could take the Lynn Vision group and the Tyloo group and merge them to make Mega Team.
Didn't they do that?
They've done that about 17 times, but like worse.
It's like they just keep kind of throwing like the same shit at the same place and hoping to get a different outcome.
G went from.
All right, just bring Captain Mo back. Let's move on. Just bring Captain Mo back.
Yeah,
Virtus Pro.
Don't care.
I don't care about Virtus Pro, but I am now more intrigued by them.
Yeah, they did better than I thought they'd do. At the major, I think we thought they'd do better in the playoffs, honestly. But I just like.
Did I even have them going through in getting out of stage 2?
I'm sure they were saying Electronic was getting benched after this major, and then they like nearly mid playoffs. They were 2-0.
Like seriously,
going 2-0 to 2-3
them...
is bad. Maybe.
I think you did because this
No,
on
I
the right.
I didn't have them going through stage 2. So they did a lot better than I expected, but I can't tell whether I think from watching them to expect
So our
this
stage
level in
3
the future.
was this, except for I had Lynn Vision and you didn't. And it was the only
Just gonna
difference.
add as well.
No, I had Lynn Vision going through.
In this stage, they
All right, well then.
obviously they only won 2 BO1s, won 2 maps, and they were very very close.
Yeah.
To Legacy and MOUZ. So.
Legacy famed good team, obviously. We've just talked about that.
I just
Or less Gunners or something, I think.
I just really don't know about this VP team anymore. I don't know if they need to make changes. I don't know if they need to keep at it. I don't know if they're suddenly a team that I should expect to make playoffs. I don't even know if I care. It's VP.
I know that I don't care. And that's the
You're
truth,
certain there.
It's another just auraless team. Let's talk about G2.
Yeah,
Let's just move on.
I agree.
The world will be happier if we do that.
Well, I think the world would be happier if we didn't
Oh
talk
no,
about
actually,
G2.
no, actually, I do have a point. I do actually have a quick point on
Okay.
on VP.
Make your point, sir.
I need
Make
you
your
to get up.
point.
Need you to get up a tweet for me, please, on the screenshot. I'm going to send it to you now.
Okay.
When they got eliminated, and Electronic went to do the interview with Banks, he stared at the camera like this for about 20 seconds straight, and I found it so fucking hilarious. And I just wanted everyone else to see that. He just stared like that.
You realize
for so long.
I'm noting for you now. I've made an editorial decision.
Okay.
This is the thumbnail for the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to get him on for a special episode, and he just does that. He doesn't speak, but his camera's just here.
I mean, it would be more entertaining than him speaking.
All right. G2.
It's not very interesting, honestly. Oh, G2.
I'm not talking about G2.
Interesting. They did far better than they should have done.
No, I will speak, actually. I will speak.
Oh, God.
This better be the last time that Snax is ever near a Tier 1 team, that TaZ ever near a Tier 1 team, and that... I'm not going to say it's Pekka's fault.
Pick me.
But...
Pick me.
Let Jack finish.
You know what I mean? Glue Factory, for all three of them. Like, a tricycle, not a tricycle, a 3-seater bike, I don't know what that's called, into the Glue Factory.
Pick
Sam,
me.
I pick you. Speak.
All right.
Thank you.
If you're going to be an apologist, by the way, though, I will leave the recording. So just.
I will be for Pekka. A lot of it was organisational.
Okay, that I can live with. Sure.
Snax and TaZ, the two of them, the Glue Factory is not enough.
They are kind of terrorists.
A rocket straight into the sun
The
would
volcano?
not be
Sun?
enough.
Yeah.
Like, they're fucking terrorists. Legitimate terrorists. Like, oh, but they won a couple of events.
No fly list. No fly list. What else do you do for terrorists? Guantanamo Bay, is that still a thing? They're in America.
They're trying to shut it down, but it's still a thing right now.
I think we should put Snax and TaZ in the middle of Tel Aviv,
Jesus Christ.
After we've gone back in time
Jesus
by
Christ.
10 minutes and see exactly where a missile lands. Because watching G2 for the past year has been one of the most miserable experiences of my life. And the amount of times where a fucking Polish person has told me to kill myself, or that they would kill my entire family as a result of me criticising the fact that they were playing awful Counter-Strike and that Nico's mid-round call-in was consistently bailing them out. I think I deserve to get my own back.
I just like the TaZ, the Snax TaZ mid round of guys. Nothing's happened. Let's just split B. Watch any TaZ 2 game they play. I'd say 75% of T rounds they try and split B.
I also like
without the smokes or without the economy for it. It's hysterical.
I also like any opposing team on TaZ 2 where their strat is, lads, we need a round. Let's hit Snax. Because Snax and Hunter on the B side of TaZ 2 has. God, that has been an infuriating thing to watch.
Do you reckon Hunter still got it? Do you bring it back if they get a real IGL?
Ha ha ha.
If you're making him call, I'm not taking on that.
I have maybe heard through grapevines and other things, unless a elite IGL becomes available, whatever that means.
There was one actually, and they let Liquid buy him. But anyway,
Hunter will be the IGL next season.
Don't hate it,
motherfucker. 30 seconds ago, you were like, "Oh, I'll leave."
No,
He wasn't really here to begin with, so
yeah, no. What I meant was
Jack hasn't been present for any of these recordings.
no. It's just an AI. Didn't you realize?
Is that what I said? I didn't mean that. What I meant was, what I meant was, can he get good again? And you're saying make him an IGL.
But I think Hunter's been decent recently. I also
Yeah,
think Hunter's...
yeah, but he's also been like second star at the point of that.
Like I'm sure fucking. I'm sure I will be proven wrong next season. But I think Hunter is also the type of player that if he becomes an IGL will be willing to sacrifice rather than immediately be like, all right, I'm gonna take all these star spots.
Yeah.
Close ball IGLing.
All right.
Sorry. But
that's how G2 makes you feel. Just tired, just yawning.
It's been a long day. But
MOUZ and Heavy God are good, by the way, and obviously they've got some price and sort coming in.
Heavy God's good. MOUZ is.
Oh
good.
yes. Segue.
MOUZ is good, right? But he's not as good.
Is he as good as Nico?
No, he's certainly not as good as Nico, which brings us to the take of the week. Logan, if you could please click on the take of the week. I'm going to read this one out. This comes from our good friend AZS, that fella that used to host this podcast before Jack viciously murdered him.
Yeah, used to for a reason. For shit like this.
In cold blood. Yes, shit like this. This is why we had to kill AZS.
I was gonna say, you imagine the takes that we used to have when it was me and Elliot? It was
diabolical. I know. I watched a couple of them and thought, wow, I really will be the Messiah. Anyway, so Elliot tweeted, MOUZ with another game-saving clutch, man. Nico whimpered to a 1-3, by the way. Now, after this tweet is in
we
regards...
did our Nico shit talking last week, by the way.
This tweet is in regards to a game-saving clutch from MOUZ. That is fair. But at this point, I can't remember what round it was, but this was in the G2 MongolZ game on TaZ 2, which we haven't really spoke about, which they did lose, which we haven't really spoken about, but it was, 28, 25?
Yep.
Yeah, ridiculous game. Go and watch it if you haven't.
On a game 2 as well, it just doesn't matter. I hate that.
MOUZ was 33 and 38 at this point. He had thrown a couple of rounds by himself, like whiffing his fucking arse off. He was cheeks for a long time in this map. Was playing bad, right? And you just get Nico whimpers to a 1-3. Nico was not a problem during the major. He had one bad map, and it happened to be the last map that Falcons played during the major. Does that make him the problem? Like, I'm all for an agenda, right? But not when an agenda makes you look like a fucking idiot. And Elliot, you've become criminal for that, mate. You are a parody of yourself, and it's sad.
He's a self-straw man.
He's already a parody.
And now he's a parody of himself. Think about that.
He's a
it's a
hollow
parody
husk
of
of
a
a
parody.
man. Is what
He's,
he is.
he's a hollow husk of what made AZS so special. Bring back
The
your
artist
Brawlers list.
formerly known
Brawlers?
The
As
Brawlers,
yes.
that's a good idea.
A
The
Brawlers list is
list.
good. Actually, no,
Config,
it's
number 1 spot.
No, Cadian, number 2 spot.
Oh, allegedly.
Allegedly. Glaive,
Like
number
at
3
least a
spot.
config there's
Allegedly.
police records. You know what I mean?
Oh no, number 2 spot Fur for that iconic choke slam on
No,
Richard
what about
Lewis.
wait? Where do we put K and G on the list?
No, that was only premeditated. He didn't actually do anything. He just said it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's incitement at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can we?
Not even top 10.
Shall we move on to playoffs? I have one point before we go to playoffs. By the way.
Okay.
Is the
week.
point a defensive? Oh, he said last week it might
No.
be a defensive when I implied you were a paedophile.
No.
Because
No.
you should still defend that.
I probably
still
should at one point,
concerned.
but this is not that. So last week we made this. The circle.
I'm not putting my name on that. You made
I
this.
made
I
this.
was present. I did not make this.
Okay.
Graphic
made
design
this.
is not my passion, but I also did not make this. This was Logan's
You were
heinous
both
act.
vaguely
Unvolition.
in the vicinity when I made this. Okay. Which
Sure.
stated that FaZe will beat Vitality, who will beat MOUZ, who will beat the MongolZ, who will beat FaZe. I just wanted to check in on this very quickly. So let's start at the top. FaZe did not play Vitality in the brackets. Vitality did not play MOUZ in the brackets. MOUZ did not play the MongolZ in the brackets.
Oh.
The problem is, where is it?
You gone past it. 2-1. Yeah,
2-0.
you're on
The
it.
MongolZ lost to FaZe. The circle has been broken.
It wasn't even close either.
No, it wasn't.
Isn't that their playoff game as well? I'm an idiot. I feel like it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
FaZe have plot armor this event. I think FaZe generally have plot armor anyway. But I don't know. Something smells like Finn Anderson in Austin.
What does Finn Anderson smell like?
I don't know. Pickled fish or something.
Yeah, dried.
Something Danish.
Okay.
Dried fish.
So
Something like that.
here's what I want to do about playoffs. I want to
Don't do
very
that again.
quickly go through.
weird.
I want to go through what the actual playoff matchups are, and then I want to double back because we have a screenshot from last week on what we expected the playoff matchups to be. They're
Yeah.
not terrible.
We
but
don't
they're not
need
great.
to. We don't need
We
to.
don't need to. Okay.
No. Well, you flash it now.
It's good for the culture. That's not that. That's it. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
So I will say, every
Some
team
of the
here
teams
made
are
the
the same.
playoffs except for Virtus Pro and Lynn Vision.
6 out of 8. That's
6 out of
the
8's not
point
bad.
on your pick'ems, isn't it?
I'd like to say, by the way, that after the episode, I decided I had more faith in FURIA than Virtus Pro. Good for
Oh,
You did.
after the
How
episode.
convenient.
Oh.
me. Yeah.
There's a world of FURIA in the finals.
Yeah, so the only thing that's different is Fury and Pain.
2025. Fuck me. Fuck.
So let's talk about
Somehow
the finals.
we've managed throughout all of space time to set up the Brazilian derby again on the same side of the bracket. It always happens because one of the teams is always shit. But this is excellent. It's going to really upset people.
I
and
mean,
it's probably gonna be the
typically
first
though,
game of the day.
typically though, it happens in a group stage. This
Yeah,
is
it
very
doesn't
different.
happen in the
This
Yeah,
is-
no, yes,
quarterfinals.
but
This is the
But
no.
it
It
will
doesn't
just
happen
cause-
in playoffs. This is
That
the
too.
first time two
well, they
Brazilian
don't get
teams.
to playoffs.
This is the first time two Brazilian teams have been in the playoffs of a major since Krakow.
What were
First
they?
time one has been
Immortals
since
and-
Rio.
Immortals and SK. And Immortals played in the final, by the way.
Yeah, didn't win it, did they?
No.
I mean,
No.
it is good for Brazil. They guarantee some representation in at least the semi-finals. So
Fury went through. They
do that
were.
if you want.
Fury was 3-1. Pain was.
3-0.
Fury's 3-0. Pain was 3-2.
3-2. Yeah.
Do we have any? Do we have picks? I have a pick. I've already made my
I
picks.
think FURIA have certainly just more on paper firepower. But there is the language issue. They are now obviously an international team.
I think
They're all a better team. Sam, speak.
both of these teams and the recent changes they've made have made them ridiculous amounts better.
Yes.
I think Furia's make them potentially more legit.
Yeah.
at least while MongolZ hasn't been figured out. And I think Yekindar back to his best, which he seems to be, is exceedingly dangerous. And he also seems to be like a second voice again, which seems to be helping out Keserato and Yuri. I think Pain have some really big pop-off potential. But I do think this match is won and lost in the communication. And although FURIA are the ones communicating in English, I think that gives them the communicative edge. Because if you go back and watch the stream after the Pain vs Pro game, they ask Big Zero how they communicate, because obviously Davideus and DGT speak Spanish, and Chilean and Uruguayan, yeah, and the Brazilians speak Portuguese, and those two languages are very similar to the point where I can't remember the word that Big Zero says, but they have a word for it, which is like, it's like the Danish English mix, where it's like Portugnol or something like that. It's like
Spanglish.
Or like Spanglish.
That would be it. Or Danglish, I guess is the Portugnol, something like that.
It's like Portugnol, which is like a mix between Espanol and Portuguese. I have a feeling that when communication in that gets messier or slightly confused, it's worse than when English does.
It's also that, from what I've been told by like Portuguese colleagues and stuff, is Portuguese to Spanish is quite easy, but the other way is actually a bit more difficult. And I'm going to say that South American Spanish and Portuguese are probably a bit more closer than European, because there's probably a bit more cross-pollination. But they're not as similar as I think we'd like to believe as non-speakers. I feel like they certainly are, and I'm sure Big Zero, like, obviously he knows his shit, right? But I don't think it's like a Swedish Norwegian kind of thing where like they're grammatically identical.
Even like, Portuguese to Brazilian Portuguese is really different. Like I can remember being at Cologne last year with Luis from HLTV and whoever was there from Just to Brazil, and like they were talking about similarities and differences between the two forms of Portuguese, and sometimes they just didn't know what the other one had said. And like the same is true with European Spanish and South American Spanish, in that a double L is completely representative of different things or whatever.
There's an entire tense they don't use. The vosotros is not used in Doesn't matter. Yeah,
I know it speaks. But
matter.
So the point is, I think there's more translation going on with Pain. That their communication is probably just that tiny bit less there, because like Keserato's English is fine, Yuri's English is fine. They're actually both quite good. Fallen's English is fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
Yukindar's is fucking phenomenal. I know MongolZ isn't overly conversational, but you don't need conversational in a game of Counter-Strike.
He's probably played so much fucking Face It, like, he's picked up.
Like when it comes to
comms,
comming in a game of Counter-Strike. So yeah, I think FURIA wins that one. And also, like, I just wanted to say, really happy for both of these teams.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they seem more competitive as well, and I really hope that Yukindar's move gets made permanent, because they're a fun fucking team to watch as well. Really fun to watch.
I will note
when Yukindar is good, Counter-Strike is fun. I think that's just true.
I will note for the record,
I'm happy.
I put Pain going through. Gut feeling. My gut's been wrong this whole major, but gut feeling. I don't think it matters though.
You're a man of principle. I respect that.
Quarterfinal number 2. To be completely honest, I think whoever wins this quarterfinal wins the semifinal.
I'd be inclined to agree.
So,
but I've also been underrating FURIA this whole event.
Quarterfinals number 2 is FaZe versus MongolZ. Let's verbally say it.
Yeah, so on that point, I think FURIA have a much better chance than anyone would give them credit for against both of those teams.
I think you're probably right.
I think the world where FURIA,
right?
I think the world where FURIA is in the final is actually really big.
Yeah.
But they'll be playing FaZe, and I do think that FaZe have I think FURIA have a better chance beating the MongolZ. I actually think FURIA would probably handily beat the MongolZ in a semi-final, because teams don't tend to like fully jump at once, and MongolZ still need to make their arena jump. FaZe, it's a lot harder. Simple is now, heated up that even when he's having a slow start, he's like top fragging games by the end of them.
It's also like FaZe had the asterisk this event; they've had it the whole way through. MongolZ, this is like, okay, this is, you need to prove yourself. You need to show up this time. FaZe, like, they will obviously have pressure because they have high expectations, but these guys have all played with pressure and they've all won with pressure. Pressure? What pressure? Yeah, that.
So
I think it's.
You both go FaZe?
I think it's FaZe. I like 100%. I think that
things will have to go very wrong for them and very, very well for the MongolZ. No discredit to the MongolZ, but
I will note again, I picked against the grain.
I will note again.
I mean, that might be the strat to get the Diamond Con, as we've seen for the rest of the major.
I will note again, you drink sparkling water and wear jeans in your own home.
Wearing jeans right now, motherfucker. So let's talk semifinal one while we're sitting here.
Someone check him, PC.
Sorry. Semifinal one while we're sitting here. FURIA FaZe.
Oh, we're doing it this way.
While we're here, we just talked about them.
It's
FaZe if all that's right in the world happens, but I don't think it will be a walk.
If this is how
which makes it a game I want to see. I'm excited for it.
This is a good game. If this is how it's going to go in quarterfinals, I think it is FaZe going through.
Put it this way, right? If either one of those teams, I actually think have a really good chance of winning the major. I think if MongolZ or Pain are in that semi-final, they don't have a chance of winning the major.
Sure, yeah.
I think FURIA or FaZe both have a phenomenal chance of winning the major.
FURIA are a serious dark horse for the playoffs, for sure.
Yeah, and they're not in the same sense as of a Gambit or a Cloud9. They're far lower down the scale than Gambit or Cloud9 were running into their major wins. But you just look at their team and like Molodoi hasn't been found out yet. Your Kindar at his best is nuts. Like Fallen, he's fucking working. Like fair play because it fucking didn't for Cadian. And Keserato and Yuri have always been pretty solid. Maybe not so much recently, but maybe FURIA was bad recently, and maybe this is clicking. Still expect
FURIA
FaZe...
were bad recently. There's no maybe. They were bad recently.
Yeah, well, sure. I still expect FaZe to be the ones to win it. No. Okay, I'll say that in a minute. Go on to the quarterfinals.
NAVI Vitality.
Yep,
I was gonna say. I feel like this is the most lopsided
We're not
one.
talking about that one. NAVI looked a lot better,
but they didn't look Vitality.
But they didn't look. They're still not close to what they were.
They're not back now.
No. They like their first game. It was like, okay, maybe you guys are back. JL is certainly like he's
back. Yeah,
he's found his motivation. The rest of them are still just like they're better than they have been. They're still not as good as they were. So it's just Vitality all day. Like I think I said last week. Like I still put them 3-0, but I think I said last week the best thing to happen to Vitality would be to lose in the group stage. And they did, and then after
that pressure.
After that, they've just shit on teams.
Yeah,
big stinky dumps.
Spirit MOUZ. This is complicated to me.
I don't know if it is.
So
I think.
Are you going to say Spirit? Is that where you're going?
I'm going to say Spirit.
Okay, give your Spirit defense. I'll give my MOUZ defense.
Obviously, Spirit went 3-0, right?
Mm-hmm.
They beat NAVI. And then two teams who probably like aren't that great, right? In Pain and Envision. Star potential.
Good defense,
is just sky high. No, star potential is just way higher. And you're gonna say, oh, they've only got Donk and Shiru and Shiru.
No.
Shiro.
Shiro.
Good
Holy
God,
hell.
man.
But like. It's kind of all you need. I don't know. They're just winning that game.
So, the MOUZ defense in my head is very simple. MOUZ have played 5 games now. They played every single day. They looked like shit, and they started to look considerably better once they hit best of 3s.
As I said last week, slow start. They
Slow
lost them up
start.
to Liquid though. They lost them up to Liquid, so unforgivable.
I, in my head, go that slow start may propel them past in the one game that they play here. Because again, I'll note what I said about the
They
other
struggled
semifinals.
through this stage, man.
I know
grinded.
they did. I understand they did, but
Cloud9 struggled through the challenger stage in Boston, by the way.
I don't give a shit about that. But if
and they
if
should never have won
Donk
that.
has an off day, are you telling me that MOUZ
Donk
don't
doesn't have
win?
off days.
Donk does have off days every once in a while, and it's happened on arena stages before.
So I believe
He's gonna get his bowl cut lined up.
I believe I have the deciding vote.
You
here.
do have the same vote.
You can vote, but I don't believe in democracy, so I won't be regarding it as truth.
Okay. MOUZ and Spirit.
Please speak.
MOUZ and Spirit. From a quick look, I've played twice this year.
Okay.
MOUZ have won both.
Yeah. MOUZ
So
also
Spirit-
look like shit now.
So Spirit argue a win, and the last time Spirit beat them was at the Shanghai Major.
Well, and there's some.
Spirit won the major, funnily enough.
I did.
But I have 2 points.
And it's a big but. Yeah.
Maybe 3 points, actually. Two of them are kind
I'll
of
allow
connected.
you up to 6 points.
Let me.
Bro's
No.
not a hexagon.
I think by the time the playoffs start, Spirit will have played 4 maps of Counter-Strike and not played for 5. Will they have not played for a week, actually? When is their playoff game?
They're quarterfinal number 4. So they will
Doesn't
be...
mean how
So
it
they-
goes in the bracket, though.
So they
They'll
will
be
not have. They
are
will
they
not have
it's-
played for a week.
Hold on. We can...
They're
we can
all
just
the
go
same
find
day.
it.
Yeah, they
We
are.
can go
They
find
are
it.
the.
Way.
No, they're not.
Right?
No, they're not. No, Spirit MOUZ is
Oh,
on
sorry,
Thursday.
time zones are fucking me.
Yeah. So they
Spirit MOUZ on Thursday.
by the time.
Sorry, time zones.
Okay, so it will be 6 days by the time that they play again.
Yeah.
After only playing 4 maps, I think that could be really damaging for Spirit. Like, knowing the things that they've said in the past of like, oh, we just need to play more games, like we're not warm enough or whatever. And I think that's a factor that can help MOUZ. I also think MOUZ have felt for a long time that they are the team closest to Vitality. But I think MOUZ also have to use a lot to beat Spirit. I think MOUZ will use everything that they have to get past Spirit. And then they will lose to Vitality. I would also like to say that I have no faith in Spirit winning this major. Because I looked at Donk's trim and I decided that is not a major winning Barnet. Therefore, they have to lose at some point. And I think it'll be at the first instance. The trim part is the main part of the point. The other part
Yeah.
is
Okay.
fine.
No, I understand that.
All right, semifinal number 2, Vitality MOUZ. I've already clicked on Vitality. I've pressed the button.
I think that makes sense, right? And even if I think Spirit beat MOUZ, I think Vitality probably still beat them.
Yep.
They are
I don't see a world
Without a
Vitality
doubt.
aren't in the final.
the
Yeah,
best team in the world.
I was gonna say this semifinal, it's a Vitality. Doesn't matter who's in it.
Well then, let's talk about the final. 'Cause
So
that's where it gets fun. Because like I said, FaZe have plot armor this event.
yeah,
This is Vitality's major to win, or rather their major to lose, if you know what I mean. FaZe have that FaZe bullshit, right? And I don't know if this is when it's gonna kick in. It's kind of kicked in the whole way through. Does it continue
My gut
through the
is,
final?
my gut is telling me FaZe win the major.
And I kind of think they do too. And
I think as soon as I saw the bracket,
Elise, the only NA representative winning as well, would be pretty cool.
as soon as I saw the bracket, my gut instinct changed from Vitality is still going to win the major to, oh shit, FaZe are actually going to do it, aren't they?
And also, if Vitality fuck up, like, I don't think they will, but if they do, I think FaZe have an even easier time.
Especially if they do get Spirit. I think after Shanghai, I think after effectively losing the major final because of a bug within the game, I don't think that will be a pleasant match for Spirit. You looked confused, Jack, on the last round of Dust 2. I think it was frozen through a smoke, and because he moved slightly, the smoke curved as he threw it.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was a bug that existed, and maybe still does exist, I don't know. So yeah, they lost the major final because CS2 is still shit. So
that's it. That's our
pause. Pause.
Yeah, we have some other bits to get to. I got a message from Jack about a thing.
Heroic have benched xCloud.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
I have the tweet ready to go right
podcast.
here. I was ready for it.
This is very shocking. But
So,
they still have Nilo on their bench, right?
Yes. I question the phrase bench here.
Why?
I question, is this an actual bench, or is this he's going somewhere, but we need to submit our roster for some event, so therefore we're putting him on the bench so that way we can submit our roster, but he's still on our team because the payment hasn't gone through yet?
No, because they say we're currently looking to find a new home, so any interested teams are welcome to reach out. If they had a place for him to go,
you
they
know,
would not say
that's
that.
a really good point. Reading the tweet explains the tweet.
But I think Tanier's still out of this team. I think he's too good, probably.
I think Tanier is out
and
of this team if Spirit lose to MOUZ.
Shit the bed. Yeah, sure. And I have to check, but I'm sure Nilo is still on the Heroic bench.
Yeah, he is.
I think. So his replacement's there, and maybe it was obviously very weird when they signed him, right? It was like he was on the squad, and they were like, "Oh, he's actually not going to be starting." But obviously, like some bias is going as well, right? So this team is going to be.
Can we ever find out why he hasn't played?
So I'm sure there was some rumblings about like I don't know if he had like some travel anxiety or some shit, or like this like performance anxiety. But like obviously he was a good player. That's why
You'd
he was
know a lot
signed,
about
right?
performance anxiety, wouldn't you?
I have no idea what you're referring to. I don't really get it, but maybe let's make Heroic go full Swedish. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, fuck
And
off.
never win anything ever again.
Yeah. I don't really know how what to think. I mean, it means that means Nilo's coming in. There's no way it doesn't mean Nilo's coming in, because why else?
But I feel like you'd announce that at the same time.
Unless here's the thing: we know Sunpius is leaving. We don't have a Sunpius replacement yet, theoretically, right? We guess Tanier may be leaving, possibly.
That's like more like that makes sense for Spirit to sign him.
Is Linus
rather than
leaving? Is LNZ leaving?
Saw should take.
But my point is, you go G2. 1, 2. You're saying that the only person left this team is Youngster now. So, like, do they really want to do? This would be a full roster like thing. It's not just hey, we're running it
Heroic
back.
have historically done this numerous times, but I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't really have any. He's not the player I'd bench. I don't think they needed to make a roster move. Like obviously they were a dead team or whatever, but like they were doing fine. He was playing fine.
Yeah, I think he was a bit
maybe
inconsistent, but he was high.
Streaky, but
high. Do you know what?
I don't know enough about Nilo's roles, like in recent form, to know if it's a role thing that makes sense.
On the Linus point, real quick.
Stack tips.
Saw. Obviously, he's going to G2, and we spoke about Hunter IGLing earlier.
Yeah.
I wonder what does happen for Saw to not take Linus, because he obviously, they've done good work together on Heroic. You'd assume Saw is impressed by him. So do you think it's a case of Saw thinking that Linus maybe is not ready for the step up, or do you think it's Saw thinking that the G2 roster will need more, or will need more firepower? But like, who is elite that they can buy?
I mean, maybe he knows something that we don't.
This is what when I heard the things through the grapevine last night, I was like, I don't think there's many better people available, if any. So.
Yeah, currently, right? But I guess that's the thing. Like, it's not.
But yeah, I just think that's it. Maybe he does think it needs a bit more firepower, and they'll look to sign.
Maybe it's a contract thing. Maybe he's got longer on a contract, and like, maybe it is just like, you know, the bureaucracy kind of thing.
Or Heroic
it, right?
have slapped down some huge buyouts.
Yeah, and like,
we know there's a lot of money in that deal already.
Like, I think that's honestly like one of the more logical outcomes.
I agree.
Is that it's, you know, it's a financial thing more than it is a lack of faith in the team kind of issue.
All right, so that's where we're gonna end it for today. You can find us online at Logan Ramhap, at MongolZ with some numbers and letters and shit, and at Nova Design. We'll be back next week.
Sam's got a song on Spotify.
Dude, are we? You want to
plug
plug it, Sam?
I'm plugging.
Oh,
did
they upload?
Shout out Ray Phoenix.
Okay, they did upload
time.
Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, if you
Sam
type
is
in
a
my
song
name,
on Spotify. We'll put it in the chat. We'll put it in the description.
Yeah.
#
Animo.
It's pretty hot in it. Yeah. # Animo.
Does it have the one in on Spotify? Hilarious.
It doesn't know.
Is it not?
All right.
Because he tweets it with the one.
Anyway,
we'll be back next week with the whatever this is, with the podcast after the major finals are over. We'll be back Monday or Tuesday.
FaZe will have won.
Where according to our predictions,
will be MVP.
FaZe will have won.
I'd just like to say, Logan, I know you've been out of the game for a while. We'll be back on Wednesday. It's when the podcast releases.
So here's the thing. I know that it releases on Wednesday, but historically, after the major, we just do it early as possible and get it out, and then
we'll miss all the fun roster moves. The Monday, truth nukes and all the teams exploding.
All right, we'll be back.
We'll see you
at
next
some
Wednesday.
point next week.
I'm gonna goon in between.
Hell yeah.